What will I do when it comes to Moonbeam? Well, in today's video, I'm going to explain, even though nothing I say is financial advice, and even though I'm not telling anyone to do anything, and this is just purely my hypothetical perspective. But here's the thing. What I will continue to do is continue to wait, stay patient, and literally that's about it, especially in regard to Glimmer, which is spelled GLMR, but apparently the way you say it is Glimmer. But even besides that, that right there is the native utility token of Moonbeam. So when I take a look at that right there, that's what I'm going to continue to do. I am personally still dollar cost averaging once a month, even though I don't have to. And people like to say, well, take a look at the pretty decent price recovery not too long ago. Now there's a pullback. Yes, that is true, but keep in mind, the market slightly recovered and we saw somewhat of the effects that did to Glimmer. That happened like just pretty quickly. And what would happen if, let's say, the market sentiment really recovered in a pretty massive way? What would happen if, let's say, Bitcoin went back to around 90 grand or around 100 grand? Maybe if the movement felt a little bit more dynamic, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me. So it kind of felt like a small taste, at least to me. So with this pullback as of right now, I'm not necessarily concerned. I've been believing in Glimmer for quite a while now, or should I say Moonbeam. I've been dollar cost averaging once a month, even though at times it's been very boring. Like for instance, we take a look at Glimmer in the past year. Hasn't really done much, pretty much just went down. We did see a slight recovery though, but still, Glimmer is still down by quite a lot. It's actually down almost 80% in the past year. But to me, as of right now, it's to the point where if I take a look at Glimmer currently at around a 15 million market cap, if it just maybe went back to like around 60 million, which isn't like something unheard of, by the way, we just saw that literally in October 2025. So as of right now, we're around 4 times lower than that. So we're around 4 times lower than October of 2025 in terms of market cap, approximately. If it just goes back there, I'm already going to Sizzler. I don't need Glimmer to ever become the best thing of all time. No. If it just goes back to October, I'm going to Sizzler. That's my mindset. It's time to go to, Sizzler or maybe Ruth's Chris in Cancun, in Mexico. They also have one there. So I just think that was really awesome. But besides that point, if I take a look at Glimmer, again, I don't need it to do the best things of all time. If it could just maybe go back to October 2025, then yeah, I have zero complaints. But nonetheless, though, I want to explain what Moonbeam is. Now, I'm going to explain in the most simple way possible, at least to my understanding. So Moonbeam is basically something that offers the power of Polkadot while at the same time maintaining the ease of use of Ethereum. Now, why does this even really kind of matter? Well, it's because Polkadot is pretty massive, has over 1 million holders. It's one of the biggest projects out there. Clearly a project that's still pretty massive. And also, let's take into consideration Ethereum. That's a very massive layer 1 blockchain. So if there's a project out there that offers the power of Polkadot while at the same time maintaining the ease of use of Ethereum, then I don't think it's fundamentally bad. That's my perspective, even though I am not telling anyone to do anything. Furthermore, Moonbeam has something called a canary network. Now, I'll explain what this is, but I just want to first explain how Moonriver is the canary network to Moonbeam. Now, let me explain what this is. And to explain this, I think it's better if I use Polkadot and as well as Kusama as an example, because Moonbeam is on Polkadot and then Moonriver is on Kusama. So then it's just easier if I explain Polkadot and Kusama and just kind of relate it later to here. But besides that, so basically, Polkadot is a project that's focused on interoperability. It's focused on connecting blockchains together. Kusama is the canary network to Polkadot. Now, the role of Kusama is that usually developers, when they want to build on Polkadot, typically they start off with Kusama first. They do that to kind of test out the project, and later, after it's good to go, so to speak, maybe at times they move later on to Polkadot. It's not a requirement though, but I'm just saying, it is sometimes what developers typically do. Now, the reason why they start off with Kusama usually is because allegedly it's far cheaper to rent building space, and also on top of that, it's allegedly easier to make changes on. So of course, it's only natural, especially for a new developer, to kind of start off first with Kusama before they later move on to Polkadot if they choose to do so. In which case, again, just like I mentioned before, Moonbeam is on Polkadot, and then Moonriver is on Kusama. So the role that Kusama plays to Polkadot is basically kind of the role that Moon River plays to Moonbeam, if that makes sense. Again, right? Moonbeam is on Polkadot, and then Moon River is on Kusama. Kusama is the canary network to Polkadot, and then Moon River is the canary network to Moonbeam. Now I get it, it sounds sometimes a little bit confusing, but that's just the way it is. Now that's my most simple explanation for this whole thing basically. But besides that point, as of right now, people like to say, well, the thing about Moonbeam is no one really cares about it. Well, really? I mean, the listings is still not bad in my opinion when it comes to Glimmer. Not to mention, if I take a look at it, the market cap isn't really that massive, so it doesn't really need like such a massive amount of volume to really maybe hypothetically do something. I mean, it's like, for instance, does anyone really think that October of 2025 at a certain point had the best of the best volume when it comes to Glimmer? Like, at least I didn't think about it that way. Like, actually, around a 60 million market cap was considered bearish when it comes to Glimmer. Yet, actually, Glimmer was at one point around a 60 million market cap, and as of right now, around 15 million. The thing is this, around 60 million isn't even the peak of what Glimmer reached during this cycle. Let's take into consideration, actually at one point in 2024, Glimmer reached almost a 600 million market cap. Does it ever need to go back to that point? No, I mean, we're around like 35 times lower than that. If we never see that, I have no complaints. I mean, the thing is, if Glimmer, just from this point, could go back to where it once was in October 2025, again, I have zero complaints. I don't need it to ever go back to around almost a 600 million market cap, but that's just personally my perspective. The thing is this, like if we consider almost a 600 million market cap, for simplicity's sake, let's just say we assume 600 million, and let's just say for simplicity's sake, we assume a 60 million market cap when it comes to October of 2025. The thing is this, a 60 million market cap is basically 10 times lower than 600 million. And the thing is this, as of right now, we're around 4 times lower than a point in which it's around 10 times lower than its actual kind of peak, I would say, for this cycle when it comes to Glimmer. Again, right, we're around a 15 million market cap. We're around 4 times lower than 60 million, yet during the cycle, we saw Glimmer reach almost 600 million, but we saw around 60 million back in October 2025. That's just my perspective. Now, people like to say, well, isn't that concerning though? Well, personally for me, it's not necessarily concerning in my perspective, because if my intent is to dollar cost average in terms of like accumulation, basically, if that is my intent, I would like it better if it's in theory lower. Now, can I control that? Absolutely not. The market doesn't care about what I do. But at the same time, if it happens to be hypothetically lower, then I wouldn't complain. Now, I get it. It's not such a good thing to see a project have this pullback, but I have a different perspective. It's like, for instance, if I walk inside a store and I see a discount, I'd be happy in real life. But within this space, why is that typically not the case? I just don't get it. If my mindset in real life is that if I like it when things are having a discount, why would I suddenly not like it here? That's my mindset. So when it comes to low prices, basically, hypothetically, it's not something which I find concerning or something that I don't like. No, that's actually not the case. I actually don't mind it because, again, my intent is $2 cost average. But as of right now, when it comes to Moonbeam, all I can do is wait, because in theory, that's all I can do. I can't really do anything beyond that. But if all I have to do is wait, then I'll wait. That's my mindset. I don't feel like Moonbeam became fundamentally worse or anything like that. I don't think so. Like, for instance, compared to October 2025, it's not like Moonbeam suddenly became so bad in terms of the fundamentals. So if the fundamentals are still pretty much there, yet the only thing that's going down is the charts, then I don't mind for hypothetical dollar cost averaging purposes. But besides that point, that's basically what I'm planning to do. I'm not telling anyone to do anything, and I hope you all have a very nice day. It's Willie the Captain. I'm out. Peace. Bye.